Hi, Omega Khaos again with another real life deck profile, and this time I'm finally showing my Synchron deck for Master Rule 5. So of course I wanted to bring back this deck, and now with Master Rule 5 it's definitely a lot better now, but unfortunately we lost TG Librarian to 1 in the previous ban list, so you can't really gain as much advantage anymore, but it's still really good, I think. So let's go this deck. So of course first monsters. So of course first Chunk Synchron, of course the main card of the deck, so to speak. I don't think it really needs an explanation. Then I use 2 Satellite Synchron. They're a really good card. Now you're a main level 2 tuner. They're really pretty good because if you summon a monster from the graveyard, you can spell summon this card on hand. And also if you have a Synchron, Stardust or Warrior Synchro on the field or graveyard, you can make this card level 4. Although that doesn't really come up much at all. Then I use of course 2 Jet Synchron where necessary for the combos, either send it to the graveyard with Axial Synchron or summon it with Chunk Speeder. Definitely very good. Then I use 1 Hyper Synchron. You might wonder why I run this card in the deck, because it's a level 4 tuner. You can summon out with Chunk Speeder. So I didn't tell you before that this deck has 2 main combos. One is the Chunk Speeder combo, and the other one is the Isolda combo. So I'll definitely explain those later. So now this is for, of course, Chunk Speeder combo, because you're going to summon Chunk Speeder with Chunk Synchron and Doppel Warrior, get 2 tokens, and then you can summon out 3 tuners from the deck. That's one of them is going to be Hyper Synchron, then Jet Synchron, and something else. Then you can just go for like really nice combo from there. Then I use, of course, triple Doppel Warrior. Another very important card. Without this card, the deck won't work at all, of course. Very nice that you want to get access to this card as soon as possible. Of course, preferably first turn. But if you don't, you're probably not going to win. Then I use triple Chunk Converter. Very good card in this deck, because of course you can discard any tuner, and then you can search for any Synchron from the deck. They're really good. It's also Warrior, so it also works very well with Isolda as well. It's definitely really good. Has a pretty good secondary ability as well, which I don't use very often, but still very nice to have. Then I use triple Chunk Forward. Definitely pretty good. Just Chunk monster, you can just personalize if you control no monsters. Mostly for Isolda pretty much. And then I use triple Marauding Captain. Pretty good as well, I think. Just for Isolda basically. And then the last monster in the main deck are triple Crusader Arborea, which is a warrior, and also it's a level 3 tuner, which you can spell summon to a Link Monster Zone. So definitely pretty good if you don't have access to Chunk Synchron, for example. So yeah, pretty nice. Then the spell cards. I don't, of course, use any traps in the deck right now. So 2 Synchro Chase. It's pretty good. Mostly you want to use it late in the combo. So basically, if you use you Synchro summon a Warrior, Synchron, or Stardust monster, you can revive one of the Synchro materials and summon them to the field. They're only pretty good, and your opponent can respond to the effects of Stardust, Warrior, or Synchron monsters' effects. Definitely pretty good, I think, but of course I won't run 3 because it becomes too bricky, I think. Then a triple Tuning, of course. Very good searcher for the deck. Yeah, I don't think I need to explain this. Then I use 1 Reinforcement Army, of course. I don't think I need to explain this either. Then I use 1 Foolish Burial, of course, to send like Doppel Warrior to the graveyard or Jet Synchron, anything you need. Then I use 1 Monster Reborn, of course. Just a really good extender. Yeah, I don't think that needs an explanation either. Then I use the equips for Isolda, of course, very necessary. So Living Fossil, which is an extender, of course, you can send it with Isolda as well. Then I run, of course, Overdone Burial, pretty good as well, and pretty much for Isolde, nothing else. Then, of course, Divine Sword, Phoenix Blade, of course, to send it to the graveyard with Isolde, and also it's pretty good for the banishing effect as well, because I also use TDR. So then, of course, I use that TDR, Different Dimension Reincarnation. Of course, really good for extending, because you're going to banish your Jet Synchron, so you use this card to bring it back, or anything else you banish with, like Phoenix Blade and whatnot. So definitely really good in this deck. And then the last cards in the main deck are triple Called by the Grave, of course, because this deck pretty much dies to hand traps like Effect Veiler, Ash Blossom, things like that. Of course, dies to the Nibiru as well, but there's nothing that can really address that, because it's just can't do anything about that, unfortunately. So that was the main deck. Now let's the deck stack. So first turn, of course, Shooting Quasar Dragon, my favorite Synchro monster. Still very powerful, especially going second, but unfortunately it's probably now surpassed by Cosmic Blazar Dragon. So then, of course, I use Cosmic Blazar Dragon, very powerful. Most of the time you're going to summon this every game if you can. Definitely a very powerful card. I think I don't need to explain it, because of course it has such a good effect that you can just banish it until the end phase, and that's a cost. So even if your opponent negates the effect, you can still bring it back in the end phase. You can just negate any summon, or negate any card effect, or even negate attacks. That's really amazing. Only downside is, of course, that if you use the effect, your field will be open, so preferably you should have other cards as well that can protect you. Then I use one Stardust Warrior, because I think it's still really amazing in the deck. We can just tribute it and negate any inherit summon, basically. So it's still very good, because you can just summon it pretty easily, and you don't need any specific materials aside from Synchros. Then I use one of the new boss monsters, that is Satellite Warrior. Really good. Of course, if you summon it in your opponent's turn as a disruption, like you have, like, for example, Axel Synchron and another level 5, you can summon this card, and if this card is special summoned, you can destroy cards up to the number of Synchros you have in the graveyard. So that's definitely really amazing for sure. You can just destroy pretty much the whole field most of the time, and also if destroyed, you can summon up to 3 level 8 or lower Synchron, Stardust, or Warrior Synchro monsters. Definitely really good for sure, if you can summon it. Then I use one Stardust Dragon, because of course any Synchron deck, I think it's not complete without Stardust. Definitely pretty good, but mostly used as a breach to summon out other Synchro monsters. Then I use one FA Dawn Dragster as a easy to summon negate on the field. Definitely I think it's pretty good for that reason. And also you can use it as a breach to summon out other Synchros like Stardust Warrior, for example. Then I use one Junk Speeder. Very important card in the deck, especially if you can't get the combo. So basically, if this card is Synchro summon, you can summon as many Synchron tuners from a deck as possible with different levels. It was really amazing, but you can only Synchro summon during the turn you activate this effect. You can't link summon in the same turn. That was the downside with the old rules, that you won't be able to use it at all, because the fact that you can't link at all during the same turn, so you won't be able to open up the zone to summon out more Synchros, so you can't like go for any Axel Synchro plays. But now you can. Well, of course, in the future this card may get banned because of that fact, that this card wasn't really meant to be used with these current rules. Then of course I use that one limited DJ Hablavarian. Back to limited status, kinda makes sense, but I don't think it really changes that much at all. You just get less cards. Then, because Hablavarian is now at 1, I have to use some other generic level 5, and I chose Armada's Keeper of Boundaries for now. Maybe I can replace it with something else later down the line, but right now I only have this. Yeah, pretty good, I think. You're not going to use it for the effect, it's just a bridge to summon out other synchros. Then use the synchro tuners of the deck. One Axel Synchron, of course, very necessary for the combos, especially the Isolde combo, because obviously just really amazing for sure. Then I use one Phonon Pulse Dragon. It's just a level 4 synchro tuner I can use. Definitely pretty good. You can also use the Crystron tuner, level 4 synchro tuner instead if you want to, but right now I only have this. Definitely still pretty good. Then I use one Martial Metal Marcher. Pretty good, of course, with level 3 synchro tuner that can revive other tuners. Only downside of this card is that if you use the synchro material, the synchro you summon is going to be treated as a tuner as well. It can screw up your combo sometimes. You have to be very careful when using this card. Then I use one Celestial Double Star Shaman. Very important card for this deck because of course you can summon out your Doppel Warrior from the graveyard or other level 2 non-tuners. Definitely really amazing for sure. And just keep your combos going, and now especially with the current Master Rules as well, because that has a similar restriction, although it's for the rest of the turn, so you can still link someone first. And then of course that one Formula Synchron, of course, still really good. And then the last card in the deck is that one Link Monster that is Isolde, Two Tails of Noble Knights. Basically, I mostly use it to summon out a Doppel Warrior from the deck, because without Doppel Warrior, this deck completely falls apart. I can't completely rely on Chunk Speeder because of the fact that if I can't get to the Doppel Warrior and Chunk Synchron, I can't do anything. So this is definitely an alternative way, or actually probably the main way, because obviously most of the time you're not going to get access to Doppel Warrior without this card. But definitely helps out the deck still quite a lot. So this was my updated Synchron deck for Master Rule 5. This deck is very fun. I still have to work on the deck because I think it still has some consistency problems. I also don't use the decks the same way as other Synchro players. It's my own personal build. You can give some suggestions, but yeah, keep in mind that it's focused on summoning out Axel Synchros. It's not about summoning just random negates like F8 Drone Dragster and Savage Dragon and stuff like that. I definitely want to focus on summoning out like Cosmic Blazer, Quasar, Satellite Warrior, and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely really good. So I hope you enjoyed this real life deck profile. For now, goodbye and Khaos out.